All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell, laying down. So if I look weird, that's because I'm laying down. But I'm under some medication right now, and I don't want to fall. The worst thing you can do is fall. That's the first thing. Every time they call it, have you fallen? When was the last time you fell? So I'm trying not to be a statistic of this of these meds that I take. Anyway, so the Derek Chauvin trial is over. He's been found guilty of second and third degree murder, and also manslaughter. So, but we still got people out there that are being shot and killed by the police. And it's not funny, but what I'm trying to get y'all to realize is we can't get our hopes up too high, because Dante Wright, we still got him sitting up there, and that's like the thing. And then that 13-year-old boy who had his hands raised in the air and the officer still shot him. It's not over. And until this, until the whole thing is eradicated, it's not over. Just not over. So that's why I want y'all to really, think about your advocacy and what it is that you're doing. Because everybody's like putting it, but it's not justice, because the laws are still the same. Because he could have gotten away with it. He could, see, that's what I'm saying. Until the laws are to the point where, and until the protocols for police officers are different, it's going to be the same thing. Nothing has really changed, because the cop could go out and still do the same thing, and they could still get acquitted. And even in this trial, I don't even agree with this trial, because of the fact of, it wasn't first degree murder. It should have been first degree murder. He's a murderer. I mean, he's second and third degree. I think the maximum penalty is like 40 years, and then he can still get paroled. So that's my whole thing with this. So I'm like, don't get too excited. Don't be sad. I'm not saying be sad or somber, and I'm not saying that there's anything that's wrong or anything with this whole verdict and everything. But what I'm trying to say is, like, the fight is not over. The fight, and truly, if you see the comments of some of these racists out here, some of the white supremacists and white nationalists and just straight up racists out here, you realize that that the fight is not over. Just like I saw an article where it was talking about the Oath Keepers, sort of like the Proud Boys or whatever, and their leader is sitting up there talking about how they literally have members of these white supremacist organizations infiltrated in police departments all over the country. So until that is changed, and until that mindset is changed, it's a victory, but but the war is still out there, y'all. The war hasn't ended. We won a battle. Don't get too excited over a battle when you still got the whole war out there, and they still shoot. They still shooting us. They still pulling us over. Since George Floyd was, was murdered, we got all these other cases that have popped up, and unless those are done the same way, and Breonna Taylor never, the police officers that shot her have never been arrested, no charges brought, no nothing. See what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to say that that this is not a victory. It's a small victory, but until police reform in some places have started to talk about police reform, but and when you say police reform, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there, unless the crime that the person committed is that of a deadly nature, there's no need to use deadly force to apprehend them and bring them in. There's no that you know the whole premise to all of this stuff is, look at Dante Wright. He had two. The charge was he had too many air fresheners around the window. I mean, why were they even pulling a taser? They shouldn't have been pulling any weapons on that. And this is a 20-year-old guy, and he's he probably weighed $125, but soaking wet. Why are you shooting this man? Why did you even pull out? Why did you even pull out a taser? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's the other thing. Whether he was complying or not, that's not the kind of thing that deserves deadly force. It's just like when they stopped doing, high-speed chases through places because they figured out that they were killing more civilians than they were the people that they were chasing. And especially if it's not a crime that's deadly. If there's not a crime against the body, meaning somebody's dead, somebody was raped, somebody was maimed or something like that, assaulted, stuff like that, that's when you use deadly force. But the stuff, passing a phony $20 bill, if the dollar bill was phony, then George Floyd didn't deserve to die, no matter what. And the other thing is, he was already in handcuffs. So, come on, y'all. So this is like an easy case, but the problem comes when you have cases like, and I'll bring it back up, when you have cases like Breonna Taylor. And they served a no-knock warrant. You talk about they served a no-knock warrant, and they didn't need to. I mean, really, they really 100% didn't need to. And that's and I believe that was over. If I can remember correctly, that was over her boyfriend's drug deal. And that's another thing, the whole thing with the, most of the drugs are legal anyway. Or y'all not really trying to chase, and he was not, and from all indications, he was not no drug kingpin or nothing like that. He wasn't, he wasn't moving mass amounts of weight in and out of the country or nothing like that. So that's one part of reform. No deadly force unless the crime is a deadly crime. This makes sense. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Right? So unless it's a deadly crime, why are you using deadly force? It makes no sense. And that's why it's a you can look at it as being discrimination. It's discriminatory. I mean, that's the deal. It's discriminatory. And the entire thing, when you get it into your when you think about it, it's like everybody, all of these things, even the catalyst for the Black Lives, we were scared, and we can go back way back to Trayvon. I mean, y'all just messing with people because they look a certain way or whatever. Zimmerman had no right. He should have, and he got off. He should have went to jail. And I know he's not a He's not a sworn peace officer or anything like that. But even in the situation that he was in, there should have been no way in the world that he was following that boy, carrying a gun, doing anything like that. There's just no way. And then to get in the fight, and because you're losing the fight, you shoot the guy. I mean, how, some guy comes up on you and jumps you. What are you gonna do? It's only what Trayvon did was logical. It wasn't something out of the ordinary. You jump on somebody, they don't know who you are. You pull a gun on them, and he's fighting for his life. Right? So don't get too complacent, and we can't get complacent. In fact, we can't get complacent at all. And when it comes to black people, because the police brutality thing is horrible, but then we need reparations. The more I think about it, I've been like, man, they just got all this. They throw all this money around. They throw all this money on wars. They throw all this money on, on research projects and all kinds of stuff. But yet and still, I can't get nothing. Right? You can't get nothing, because that's the whole thing. The whole thing is, and they don't want to give us reparations because they know we'll move into their neighborhoods. I'm gonna say it again. They don't want to give us reparations because they know that we'll be able to move into their neighborhoods. That we'll be able to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And in the words of Nelson Mandela, when I get some boots, I'm good. Then I'll pull them up. So don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. Because, and the other thing is, and you can best believe, there's going to be retribution and retaliation for this verdict. They ain't going to say it. They ain't going to say it out loud. But there's, right now in some back room, in some back woods somewhere, there's somebody that's trying to get even. And once again, in the words of DMX, what do you really want from me? I mean, what do you want? The same thing is true for all this other stuff. It's like, y'all own everything. Y'all got a 400-year head start with money. Most of y'all have, generational wealth in your families. You got generational land, generational everything. So what do you really want? And why are these, why are y'all still, sending young guys, how do y'all send these young guys in places, it's absolutely ridiculous. All these shooters, all these shooters, the guy that went into FedEx, I mean, he looks like he's 12 years old. But and they talk about he's all on white supremacist websites. Why is he in so much hate? Why is he in so much pain? I mean, what's really going on? And it's, we keep talking about the whole MK Ultra thing, and is he a government asset? And see, those are the type of things that we'll never know. Is he did y'all train him? Did y'all train, all these different people? Are y'all training these people to be killers? Because, I mean, seriously, the only thing we hear about is either police brutality, police shootings, or by the same token, police shootings or whatever. And then by the same token, we hear of mass shootings. But yet and still, everybody needs a gun, right? There are 2 guns for every 1 person in the United States of America. Sad. Fast 15 minutes is up. Like button, subscribe button, notification button. I hit all the buttons, but most of all, hit the love button. We haven't won, y'all. This is a battle victory. We got to win the war.